presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager, learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The views and opinions expressed by this show are those of the show host and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of STL Hits. Any comments or questions should be directed to the show host, not STL Hit.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
Welcome to the Daddy Marina Show right here on STL Hits Radio. We have great guests for you today. Wavewulf. Go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Hello, Daddy Mir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
excellent.
Good. And I guess you're doing good too.
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Now we've been trying to connect for, it seems like, forever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think you were kind of under the weather or something. You weren't feeling well during the last time we were supposed to do our interview.
Yeah, I was actually sick and in bed for a solid week. I slept for a solid week. You know how you sleep whenever you don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Some kind of terrible virus, and was tested for that stupid corona. But that came back negative, and then all of a sudden Nina got it. So Nina's not here today.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, we just keep sharing it. We share everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too.
Nina and I. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where they can find you, just plug yourself really good.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Nicholas Long, and my artist name is Wavewulf. That's WAVEWULF. And I'm an electronic music artist based in New Jersey, just across from New York City, where I have a small studio in my apartment, which is where I make my music. So I'm a synth player. I've been a synth player since I was probably in middle school. I got my first synthesizer back then. My first real synthesizer, which was a Roland Juno 106. I talked my parents into buying it for me when I was in about, 5th or 6th grade. And then I just started I started in a bunch of bands. I played in a bunch of bands in high school and college. And, and I've really been a musician my entire life, but I just started sort of making music and releasing it, professionally in the last 4 years or so. I made my first album, Oscillation, which came out back in January of 2019. And I've had 3 albums since then, Green Decay, Space Art and Angels, and now my latest album, which is called The North and the Sea, which just came out on March 25th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where can everybody buy your music at?
You can go either to my website at www.wavewulf.com or to Bandcamp, which is www.wavewulf@bandcamp.com. You can buy my record either digitally or you can buy it physically as a CD, which is out on State of Bass Records out of Southampton in the UK. They've got there's both a limited edition CD, which has the album The North and the Sea plus 2 bonus tracks, as well as a second disc, which is kind of a best of Wavewulf from my back catalog called Catching Up with Wavewulf. So it's a 2 CD set. You can either buy that or you can buy the regular album The North and the Sea, either digitally or physically there
Awesome.
from State of Bass. Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of everybody's using Bandcamp now. See, when I had my original show years ago with a different radio station, there was no such thing as Bandcamp, so everybody was using SoundCloud back then.
Yeah, that's right.
So I hope Bandcamp's doing better for everybody.
Yeah, I have a SoundCloud account as well. I mean, I use Bandcamp to sell records, to sell my records. But people can also listen on SoundCloud, or they can go to, Spotify or any of the other streaming services like Apple Music or Amazon or whatever. So, you can stream my music, or of course, we musicians always prefer that you buy it because we actually make money on that. I mean, with streaming, you have to have such huge numbers to make any money that it doesn't help us as much.
Absolutely. Excuse me. Sorry.
That's
Didn't
okay.
install that cough button just yet.
Yeah, I wish I had one of those too.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get one. Trust me.
Okay, nice.
It's called a push to talk.
Okay. Oh, right. That's the nice thing about radio.
Yeah. I mean, TV, you just have to cut stuff out. And
that's right.
Speaking of TV, did Nina send you the release form? I mean,
yes, she did, and I filled it out and I sent it back to you.
Okay.
I sent it to the address on the form, which is not the same as the email address we've been communicating on. So I don't know. Hopefully you got it.
Okay. As long as because I don't know if she explained it to you or not, but we're building our Roku channel.
Okay.
STL hit TV on Roku, and our lawyers tell us we need these forms.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
For anybody and everybody. So we're not picking on nobody.
Gotcha.
And I hate lawyers to begin with, and I want to push my own lawyer in the river and just be done with them.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
He's a money hungry son.
Hopefully he's not listening.
I hope he is. Maybe he'll give me a discount if I mention his name. Dirty bastard.
Cool.
But, so you're from the East Coast?
Well, so not originally. Actually, I know St. Louis. I've driven through it many times. I actually grew up in a small town in northwest Arkansas called Fayetteville, which you may know of.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, kind of a college town. Well, actually, a smaller town called Salem Springs, which is right near Fayetteville. But that's where I grew up, and I went to college there. And I used to drive through St. Louis a lot. Well, either to St. Louis or through St. Louis to see shows either in St. Louis or in Chicago. When I was growing up, a lot of sort of shows would come through those two cities. So I've been through St. Louis and been there a few times. It seems like a pretty cool city. I like it.
It's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to stay.
Oh, okay. Well, you do live there, right?
We're in the St. Louis area. Yeah, we're actually across the river in Illinois.
Okay.
But the Arch is like 6 minutes away from our house.
Cool.
Right across the river.
Oh, cool. Yeah, actually, my wife and I went up in the Arch when we were driving down to see my mother in Arkansas. We actually went to St. Louis and went up in the Arch and all of that. It was fun.
Yeah, that's an experience
for sure.
I was doing a show the other day, and this group from Texas, and I was telling them about we actually talked about the Arch on the show. And how it swayed back and forth about 4 feet in both directions.
That's right, yeah.
And they went, "What? You could feel that? Oh yeah, you could feel that. It's kind of an eerie feeling."
That's right. Some tall buildings here in the city too, in New York. If you go to the top of them, they kind of sway a little bit too. Especially a lot of the new, really narrow. I don't know if you've seen some of those really narrow buildings they've been building in New York. They're really tall and narrow. I've heard those are really bad. I haven't been up in any of those really narrow ones, but I've heard that they sway a lot. I don't think I'd want to live in one of those buildings.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but I was watching something about buildings when I was, when my boy was very young, he was into construction and earth moving equipment. When he was kindergarten age, and we watched a lot of those shows, construction shows and stuff. And a lot of those buildings have counterweights in the roof.
That's right. They rebalance. Yeah, that's right.
So when they sway one way, the weights go opposite direction, so that
so you don't feel it as much.
So you don't feel it as much, and so they don't hit the ground.
That's right as well. Yeah, I had some friends actually who lived in. I used to live. So I grew up in Northwest Arkansas, moved to Chicago, lived there for about 6 months after college, and then I got a job in Boston. So I moved there 2001, lived there for 5 years. Then I moved to New York City, to Brooklyn. I was there for 5 years. Then I moved back to Boston for graduate school, there for another 5 years. And then I met my wife there and we got married, and she got a job in New Jersey. So we moved here about 6 years ago. So I've kind of moved around a lot. But what I was going to say is actually, I had some friends who lived in a tall building in downtown Boston, and it was one of those tall buildings, that would kind of sway. And they were actually going to be installing one of those weights because a lot of residents were complaining about that.
About being seasick while you're trying to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah.
That would be terrible.
Yeah,
seriously. Dramamine just so you can go to bed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, Dramamine, I just plugged you. Send me some money.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and play one of your songs. We got 3 of your songs. So I don't know if you remember which 3 you sent.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. So it'll be kind of a surprise.
It sounds like you have a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you which ones we got. Okay. We got Luft, Luft, New Amsterdam, and The Power of Water.
Excellent.
So which one would you like to play and tell people a little bit about it?
Let's see. Let's start with Luft. Luft.
Good. I have that one plugged in.
So yeah, that song is kind of a song. So actually, this whole album, The North and the Sea, was kind of inspired by my recent trip I went up to Iceland with my wife. It was kind of towards the end of the pandemic, so we'd kind of both been like home for a couple of years and hadn't really traveled much. But we went there, and both of us, we had such a sense of kind of feeling freedom and just kind of being up in the north and just kind of the openness and everything. It really, I think very much this album, The North and the Sea, was very much inspired by my trip to Iceland and kind of, big open spaces and kind of, the North and Scandinavia and the Arctic and that kind of thing. And so I think, but the song specifically Left is kind of about feeling alone and then kind of, meeting someone and kind of having a connection that's kind of, and flying with them. That's kind of the theme of the song, that Luft means actually fly in German. And so that's where the name comes from. And actually the vocalist on this track, her name is Nala Spark. She's based in Poland, actually, and she sings a number of tracks on this album. And I've also got a drummer, Chris Donato. He's in Chicago, and he plays drums most of this track as well as most of the tracks on the album.
Awesome. So here it goes, everybody. Luft by Wavewulf. Now, if you listen to my show, you know I screw up somebody's name or some kind of name every time. I'm trying not to do that. Luft by Wavewulf. Here we go.
I want to fly off through the sky as a ball of fire. I want to know, what does it feel like to inculcate my desire? Sitting, waiting in my room feels like emptiness. Sitting, staring at my clock feels like timelessness. Sitting, waiting on my own for the world to end. And it's true, I can't pretend I don't need a friend. Spinning, whirling, twirling, curling like a strike of lightning through the atmosphere. Spinning, whirling, twirling, curling like a speeding comet through the stratosphere. I want to know, what does it feel like to be a ball of fire? I want to know what does it feel like to feel such desire. I want to dance with, I want to dance with, I want to dance with you. I want to fly with, I want to fly with, I want to fly with you. Spinning, whirling, twirling, curling, like a strike of lightning through the atmosphere. Spinning, whirling, twirling, curling, like a speeding comet through the stratosphere. I want to fly with, I want to fly with, I want to fly with you. I want to know what does it feel like to be a ball of fire. I want to know what does it feel like to be a shooting star. I want to fly up through the sky as a ball of fire. I want to know what does it feel like to inculcate my desire. I want to dance with, I want to dance with, I want to dance with you. I want to fly with, I want to fly with, I want to fly with you. I want to know what does it feel like to be a ball of fire. I want to know what does it feel like to inculcate my desire. I want to fly with, I want to fly with, I want to fly with you.
I don't want to fly. I don't like to fly, but I like that song.
Oh, thank you.
Now, she has a good voice. She has a really
Yeah,
good
she
singing
really
voice.
does. Yeah, I was really happy to meet her. Actually, we met through a class that we're both taking. We're actually taking both of us, her and I, were both taking a class about learning to promote our music for sync. And it's like a virtual class, and we actually met through that class, which I was really happy, that I got to meet. And she's going to be working with me in the future, and she sang a number of songs on this record.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear some of those.
Thanks.
Because, I mean, I know you're going to stay in touch, right? And let us know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And all that good stuff, so we can help probably get some of your stuff out there a little bit.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Daddy Mara. I really appreciate that.
Well, that's what we do. That's what we're here for, right?
Excellent.
Excuse me.
So how long have you been doing this?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, I know. How long have you been doing this show?
Well, we started this station last year.
Okay.
Almost a year now. And I got my wife involved, Nina. Love you, Nina. And she's loving it too. But I was actually with my first station back in 2013 or something like that.
Okay.
And it was the original Daddy Murr show.
Okay.
Without anybody else's name on there, because I was a stingy little bastard. No, I had some co-hosts that, every once in a while, but it got under my skin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, having the co-hosted?
No. The show, the whole radio show.
Gotcha. Okay.
I had to leave the station because of some medical problems.
Oh,
and
okay.
I didn't broadcast for a few years because of that. But when I was able to get it going again and get it back up and running, I decided, well, instead of going with another station, we're just going to build a station.
That's awesome.
And we're gonna program it the way we want to, as long as we stay within the guidelines and get independent artists heard. Because even my show back then was geared toward independent artists, of course, and because I live close to a college town too, and there's a lot of, and I'd go to these little live bands and stuff, and listen to a lot of great talent that's probably never going to get heard unless somebody like us actually does it for them.
That's
you know what
right.
I mean? So that's why I said it got under my skin to where it's like an itch that I had to do.
That's
You
awesome.
know
Well,
what I'm
we
saying?
really appreciate what you do for artists, independent artists. It's
Oh, and
great.
it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. So, but hold on. Sorry, folks. I'm having a rough day with these sinus allergies stuff today.
I understand. I was last week actually. This week I'm a little bit better, but I was my nose was running and I was sneezing a lot.
Well, we've been getting a lot of rain and a lot of pollen and the trees blooming and all that. So it's hit and miss here for us.
Yeah.
One day we're perfectly fine. The next day we've got so much allergy stuff going on that we can't even see straight.
Yeah,
So,
I understand.
You just never know. But
yeah, I was actually up. My wife and I, we have a couple of friends who live up on Cape Cod, and we were just up there for the long Memorial Day weekend. And I always notice when I'm up there, I think my allergies get a little bit worse. I think it's just because they live in much more of a. I mean, I live like right next to New York City, so it's pretty urban. I mean, it's not as. I mean, there are trees and stuff, but it's not quite as like dense.
Right.
Dense forest. Forestation as up there in Cape Cod. But I noticed up there this weekend, I was definitely having some allergies. I think because of all the plants and trees.
Now, when we went to Massachusetts, like I was telling you before the show started, you drive from our area, you drive up north, and you basically go through the entire state of New York.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, through
route.
Buffalo and all of that, Rochester.
I was extremely surprised that almost the entire state of New York is still wooded area.
It is.
It's forest.
That's the funny thing about the East, actually. A lot of people think of it, because we have so many large cities, but actually the East is very forested. It really is.
Yeah, and like I was telling you earlier, weird weather because of it, or weird humidity, weird.
Yeah, because we have.
Weird...
That's right, because there are the Appalachian Mountains on one side, and then you have the coast on the other, and it kind of just makes the weather. I mean, they have this saying in New England. They say, in New England, if you don't like the weather, just wait.
Well, we have a similar saying here in St. Louis.
Okay,
it's a little bit different. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Because it changes in a minute. It could be sunny out there. The next minute, we could have a tornado.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's kind of prairie there. It's kind of flat, right? St. Louis. I mean, I remember, so I've driven through that part of the country. It's kind of a lot of it's kind of flat, a lot of prairie. It's very pretty in its own way.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what St. Louis?
Most of Illinois is flat. Missouri is a lot of hills, not mountains, just hills.
Right. In the southern part of the state, you get into the Ozarks, right?
Right. And all the southern states underneath Illinois are flat. Kansas is flat. And I did this history thing. I used to like the history stuff too.
Cool. I love history.
And they say that the reason why Missouri has a bunch of hills and ripples and, it's all hills.
Okay.
It's all hills and it's all rock. If you try to dig in the ground, you're not going to, it's all rock. Okay. Farmers pay people to pick up rocks out of their farm fields.
Okay.
It's a job. That's an actual job.
Okay.
I got paid $5 an hour to pick up rocks when I lived in southern Missouri.
Okay.
Years ago. And it's a weird job, but it is a job. But they say that during after the Ice Age, when everything was defrosting, a glacier came up from the south, smoothing out the entire area and kind of stopped at Missouri. So it kind of just bunched all that soil up and made all those hills and everything.
Oh, that's so interesting. Wow. Okay. So that's why you have the Ozarks, I guess the Ozark Mountain. I mean, I grew up almost in the Ozark Mountains too. I mean, Northwest Arkansas is kind of at the southwestern end. And there in St. Louis, you're kind of at the northeastern end, I think, of the Ozarks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe like a little bit north of them, I guess. Maybe like an hour north.
Of the Ozarks?
Yeah.
Ozarks from here is about 4.5, 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but it's a nice trip and beautiful area. And they have a really nice show on. Have you watched the Ozark show?
Oh, the show. Yeah. I've seen the show. Yeah. It's a good show.
That's a show, people, that doesn't really depict how the Ozarks actually is.
Right, of course, yeah.
I mean, there's that kind of stuff happening everywhere, not just in the Ozarks. Right. And it's not just people from Chicago.
Right. Right.
So I know with the virus and everything, nobody's been able to really do any live gigs. Do you do live gigs?
I do. I mean, I have in the past. I don't do a lot of them because I do have a day job. I also work as a librarian during the day. But I do play sort of one-off gigs here and there. I mean, I haven't in a couple. I guess it's been about 3 years, but I have played some gigs in Brooklyn and in New Jersey and also up in Massachusetts. So I have played a few, but not. I don't really tour just because it's really hard to do when you have a day
Right.
job. I'd love to. I think it would be fun though.
Right. In order for us to be able to pay for the station, I have a day job too.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
It's kind of at night.
Right.
And I work in a warehouse driving a forklift
Oh wow.
inside of a refrigerated building. And if you buy a candy bar, I've probably handled it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. I'm not mentioning names because I can't.
Okay.
But,
Gotcha. Okay.
you know,
That's very interesting.
popular candy bars.
Popular candy bars. Well,
Yeah,
my
from
wife and I actually
Pennsylvania.
visited. Okay, yeah, we visited that place in Pennsylvania actually, and did a nice tour of the factory there. It was quite a bit of fun. Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to go and check it out.
It's fun. It's fun to do.
But yeah, so I mean that's how we get all this stuff done partially.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
And like I said, the Roku TV channel, I was hoping it was going to be out by the 30th. It's just not ready yet. There's too many logistics and involved and stuff like that.
So it's going to be
So
similar
it's-
to STL Hits Radio, but it's a television station.
It's STL Hits TV. on
Oh,
Roku.
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'll be announcing when that's out and available for the public as soon as we can.
Awesome.
Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, because we are so close.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm so excited.
I'm
That's
excited too, and all these interviews are going up on there. And if you have any videos on YouTube,
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna
do.
be I'm gonna be taking those and kind of like for this interview, I'm gonna be and I'm letting everybody know. Also,
Okay.
to say that for like this interview or any other interviews, I'm gonna be taking those YouTube videos and kind of putting them in where we play the music.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay. Awesome.
That way
So
they
it's
get
kind of like
the
a
interview, the video, the interview, the video.
maybe you'll be like the next cool old MTV, the way MTV used to be when it was cool when they played videos.
Yeah,
There really isn't a station like that now. It's hard to. I mean, MTV plays videos occasionally, but it's mostly like dumb shows
Jackass.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Like
Jackass, the dumbest show that made these guys rich. I've never seen anything like it. Bunch of guys going around kicking each other up in the nads.
yeah,
It's
just
stupid.
ridiculous. It's stupid.
It's
Whatever happened to the cool music
intellectually-
videos?
I'm sorry.
I said, whatever happened to all those cool music videos from the 80s? I mean, that's when MTV was cool and it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I watched MTV the first day it came out. We got cable
Okay.
just so I could watch MTV the very first day it came out. And back then, cable was $13 a month
Wow.
and if you wanted, like, I think HBO was about the only movie channel on there
Right.
originally. And if you wanted to watch HBO, it was like, I don't know, $4 or $5 extra. But,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember when I was a little kid, when cable really first came out to our area, we begged our dad, because there's 4 of us kids,
Uh huh.
let's get cable, Dad. Let's get cable. He goes, why would I pay? Back then in the 70s, it was like in the latter 70s, it was like $6 a month. Why would I pay $6 a month for TV when I have 5 perfectly good channels as it is?
Right.
Dad, they're not perfectly good. You bought me in the head just to change the antenna direction.
Yeah, I remember those days, the old antennas and trying to get them right so they would sort of pick up the right stations. Actually, it's funny, I do that again because I don't have cable now. Now these days with the internet, with Netflix and everything, you don't really need cable as much.
Yeah,
and
we don't have it either.
And it's, and also I live in the New York City area, so you can pick up about maybe 20 channels, just with the antenna.
Right.
But I still do that actually sometimes, Well, actually now they have the new digital antennas, so they're a little different. But
Here in the St. Louis area, talking about TV, here in the St. Louis area, if you have a good digital antenna, like a 300-mile range,
yeah.
you can pick up almost 50 channels.
Wow. Okay. Because you have
I mean-
Chicago nearby too, and I guess
Oh,
Kansas
yeah.
City is not so far.
Yeah. Well, Chicago, Kansas City's about 8 hours, I think. And
Okay.
Chicago from here is 5.5.
Okay.
To get to downtown Chicago.
Okay.
So, but hey, why don't we play another one of your songs?
Sounds good.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to pick this time.
You pick.
We're going to go with, how about New Amsterdam?
All right. Excellent.
You want to tell a little, is there a backstory to that one? Or
Yeah.
no?
Well, this is, this song actually, I wrote, it was kind of, I mean, a character, that someone who had, broken up with his love, his or her love, and just kind of how living, New Amsterdam is an old name for New York City back in its founding days and its Dutch days when it was ruled by the Dutch, and so I used it kind of. People use New Amsterdam to talk about as kind of a nickname for New York City. So it's about someone sort of living in New York, and just how everything is not the same. The city's not the same since his baby left him. and actually, the vocals are done by Chris Donato in Chicago, who plays drums as well. This is actually the only track on the album he sings vocals on, so those are his vocals.
Cool. So here we go. New Amsterdam by Wavewulf.
In this urban jungle, the harbor rumbles, the shadows fall like a collapsing wall. You're the one I love, and there's nothing more. Your absence now swells like a festering sore. New Amsterdam was always in my view. New Amsterdam can show me nothing new. New Amsterdam can never be true. New Amsterdam is nothing without you. Small Decembers come, the year is in my view, and I've always known that nothing in this world's true. Something I should have said, but didn't say to you. It's all over now. There's nothing I can do. Everything I do, everything I love, is a reminder now of a race I couldn't run. New Amsterdam was always in my view. New Amsterdam can show me nothing new. New Amsterdam can never be true. New Amsterdam is nothing without you. In the night cold creeps, since I cannot sleep, the beauty in your heart I had but could not keep. Now my bones freeze on these wind-swept streets. My head is so off. All I do is dream. New Amsterdam could never be true. New Amsterdam is nothing without you.
New Amsterdam by Wavewulf. He sounds real excited with that song. It's a very melancholy tone to it.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean?
I also forgot to mention Chris is also playing guitar in that, so it's him on drums, guitar, and vocals, and then me on synthesizers.
Well, I want to see him doing all that at one time.
Yeah, that would be something.
I think Phil Collins might be able to do it.
That's right. He's famous for kind of singing and playing the drums at the same time. I always thought that would be difficult to play drums and sing.
Well, he's one of the he is, and a lot of people don't realize it, but he is one of the top drummers in the world.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. People think of Phil Collins as, a vocalist, but yeah, really he's more, of an awesome drummer. I mean, that's drummers, I think, often, watch Phil Collins and study his technique because he's really known as a great drummer.
And if you watch some of his videos, and if you really pay attention, I think he's got 3 full kits in front of him.
Wow.
That surround him, and he plays them all at one time.
That's incredible.
It is absolutely incredible. As a matter of fact, I went to a live band one time at this local bar down the street from me here that and went and listened to them and started talking with the band. This was years and years and years ago. And I told the drummer, I said, I was talking with the drummer and I said, you guys sound, you sound awesome. I said, but I'd like to hear something from, Genesis, Phil Collins. You guys got anything in that repertoire? And we was talking and he says, yeah, we do some of their stuff. I said, okay, can you do it? And I was talking to the drummer. Can you do it exactly like Phil Collins on the drums? He goes, man, you don't know what you're asking for. I said, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And you can't do it.
Yeah.
Of course, I was drunk at the same time.
Right.
I was at a bar.
Of course. That's what you do at the bar. Drink and listen to music. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully these days it's hard. I don't know if there are going to be as many live bands, but hopefully that's starting to come back a bit. I mean, I'm starting to see more bands, around.
We have another local place here that, wow, shut that alarm off. Okay, we have another local place down here that has different bands every week.
Cool,
right down the street, and so they actually started back up. I guess they released the mask requirement about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
Here. So I think they started back up pretty much full speed since then.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we still have it on public transportation here, like riding the subway, which I do every morning coming into work. But otherwise, not as much.
The Illinois state governor in his wisdom, and that is a joke, people.
Who was the governor of Illinois?
I have no idea right now.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to see something on the news where he went to jail for embezzling like the rest
of
them.
Right. I know. Illinois has that kind of that history of a lot of kind of corruption, starting with, I guess, the gangster days back in the 20s and 30s with Al Capone and all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, at least the gangsters was honest about being gangsters.
Yeah, sure.
These guys are politicians. They're not honest about shit.
Right. That's the way it is. That's right.
And yes, I said that, people. I don't like politicians. I like politicians even less than lawyers because most of them start off as lawyers.
That's true.
So let's get rid of the politicians and let's put real people in office. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, the Constitution, I believe, says that if the government's messing up, that we have the right to take it back.
That's right.
So you're the librarian. I'm my mind is sketchy on some history stuff.
Okay. Yeah, history is definitely a big interest of mine. I've always been kind of into. In fact, I studied history in graduate school. I studied mostly kind of medieval and early modern European history. That was the main focus of my studies, but I did a little bit in sort of American history too.
Awesome. American history, very, for the youngest modern country on the planet, we can sure screw a bunch of shit up.
That's true. That's very true.
We've allowed China to take all of our jobs, right? And send all of our manufacturing. See, I used to be a machinist.
Okay.
And when I became a machinist, you could look in, they were newspapers back then, little pieces of paper with a lot of information on them. Most of the kids nowadays don't even know what those things are.
That's true. Yeah.
But in the newspaper, there was 5 or 6 help wanted pages of nothing but machine shop jobs. That's why I went to school to become a machinist, because of the job market. It wasn't 10 years into the market, everybody switched over to CNCs. They had one programmer for each factory to actually program the CNCs, or maybe 2. And then all they wanted was people that could put metal inside the machine and push a button, cycle start button.
Okay.
And pay them $8 an hour instead of paying them $15 to $25.
Right. All those good union. It's so sad that all those great union jobs, of the kind of post-war era, have all sort of dried up. I mean, I really feel like that the country's prosperity was really based on that kind of large, powerful unions and kind of middle class, good union middle class jobs, especially manufacturing jobs. And it's just, so much of that's gone overseas. It's really sad.
It has. And, I think a lot of it had to do with that NAFTA trade agreement.
Sure.
And there are countries that they hate that NAFTA trade agreement as much as I do.
Right.
Especially
the Midwest, especially, I sometimes I drive through the Midwest, kind of around the Great Lakes and stuff. And you really see it. Upstate New York too. You really see a lot of these towns that used to be so beautiful and prosperous. And now they're just kind of, they're not what they used to be.
Well, the town that I live in is not beautiful. It's never been beautiful. It's been prosperous. I mean, when I was a kid, you could keep your doors unlocked. Nobody bothered you. You didn't mind your 6-year-old walking 3 blocks down to go to the park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By themselves. Because all the neighbors looked out for everybody as kids.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And the steel mill that's here is one of the 3 only steel mills left in the country that makes steel from iron ore.
Okay.
U.S. Steel bought it out about 10 years ago or so, and they've almost demolished the whole steel mill. They got rid of 30,000 jobs. So everybody in this area is just kind of moving out. So I'm seeing the area just disintegrate a little bit.
That's terrible. That's just so sad
compared to when I was a kid. I've been here my whole life.
Okay.
Minus the few times that I tried to move to Missouri and get away and come back.
Right.
You know how you do.
Sure.
No place like home, I guess.
Yeah.
But we have this another little segment, and it's favorite food. What is your favorite food?
Wow, that is so tough. I mean, it's hard to say favorite food, but I can give you some favorite kind of categories of food. So I love Indian food. Indian food, I think, is so delicious. I love Indian food.
Really?
That's one of my favorites. I do love Indian food. And I also, I have to say a really good pizza. There are a couple of pizza shops where I live. And my wife and I just love them. They're just, old Italian sort of family run pizza shops. So pizza from those places, that's got to be up there as one of my favorites.
If you like pizza, when you go through Chicago, you need to stop at one of those parlors.
Yes. Well, I've been to, what is it called? Giordano's, I think that's the name of it. The famous Chicago style. I remember going to that back in the day on Clark and Belmont.
Boy, they put a lot of mozzarella cheese on those, don't
that's
they?
That's a delicious. I love Chicago style pizza. Delicious.
Oh my God. It is when you get it from Chicago.
That's right. Yeah.
We have some places around here that have a Chicago style deep dish that I actually told the owner that they need to go to Chicago and learn how to make those.
I'm sure they appreciated that.
And stop putting so much sugar in your red sauce.
Right. It's not.
We're fat enough. We don't need no more sugar. Thank you.
For sure.
But
Yeah,
if
that's
Nina
good
was here,
stuff.
she would agree with you on the pizza thing as far as the favorite food.
Oh man, so
But
that's got to be
her
one.
all-time favorite is like street tacos.
Oh, and that was my third category is really good Mexican food, especially good kind of like, I guess, Cal-Mex, or Mex, what is it, Cal-Mex? Like tacos, there's actually a really good place called East LA Tacos that's here in Hoboken that I love. That's got those kind of like LA style tacos. I love those,
Yeah. Now, if we have some authentic Mexican restaurants around here, and I really like their tacos. It's the basically a soft tortilla shell with
Mhm.
steak instead.
Oh yeah, delicious.
Instead of ground beef,
Okay.
cilantro, tomatoes. Oh yeah, and
Onions, the whole
two
thing.
tacos fill you up, and they're a little bitty, but they
Oh,
just
that's
fill you up.
so delicious. Yeah.
So
That's got to be another one too. And I really quite like. I've really gotten to like pad thai too. That's another kind of favorite that it's kind of I quite like. Do you like pad thai?
you know what? I've never tried pad thai that I can recall.
Okay.
So why don't you
It's kind of
explain
peanut
to me
buttery.
what it
It's
is?
kind of it's like a kind of a peanut butter. Usually has shrimp or chicken or sometimes both. It's kind of a Thai noodle with like peanuts and peanut butter. It's delicious.
Is it? I'm gonna
I
have
think
to.
so.
I'm gonna have to give it a try. My, I actually was going to chef school
Oh
a
wow.
while
Okay.
back, and so when I was going to chef school, I have about little over a year left to go if I ever get the chance to go back to get my
Okay.
associates with
Cool.
it, but it just wasn't in the cards at that time. But anyway, because I had to taste everything, even stuff that I know that I absolutely did not like,
Mm-hmm.
my palate changed, and I started liking
interesting.
stuff that I didn't like because I
Oh,
had
that's
to
so
taste it all the time.
interesting. Wow. I can
So
see how that would happen because sometimes, when you first try something, you may not like it, or it's like, oh, this is so unusual. But then you try it a few more times, you're like, actually, I do really like this now that I've kind of gotten used to it.
right, when somebody says that it's an acquired taste, that means they keep trying it until they like it.
Yeah,
Basically.
I think that happens.
It does. It does. It's it. When I was a little kid, crab meat.
Uh-huh.
Here it's hard to get real crab meat, so we have imitation crab meat a lot.
Okay.
And that was just really nasty to me.
Okay.
But I kept trying it. Now I love crab, even the imitation.
Yeah, I love
crab.
crab. I love crab. Like like crabs.
But
I mean,
fresh
close to
crab. Oh,
Chesapeake
awesome.
Bay, so you can get a lot of, that's kind of the big place where crabs come from here in the U.S. I think it's Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, and so you can get a fair amount of it here in New Jersey and New York. That's pretty good, pretty authentic, pretty fresh. So I like that.
Yeah, I was down in Florida one time, and I went to one of the piers down there, pretty close to Tampa Bay there.
Okay.
And went to a restaurant on the pier and ordered. I said, well, I want to go ahead and get the crab legs.
Mhm.
They said, you want a whole order or a half order? I said, thinking that it's the same stuff as up here.
Mhm.
I went, go ahead and bring me the whole order because, up here you get these little bitty things and you only get like one crab's worth of legs for $20 or $30.
I know they're so expensive. That's right.
But down there, they brought out, and I'm not kidding you, a 30-inch pizza pan with crab
Okay.
piled on top of it as a whole order, probably 12 inches deep, and those crab legs were as big around as two of your fingers.
Oh.
I sat there and for $15 for all of that. I was like,
that's fantastic.
Wow. Did you send this little guy out here to the ocean? Is that how you can afford to do that? But
that's incredible. Yeah, I love crab.
I sat there and I ate it all. I made myself sick. Oh, it's disgusting. Can't wait to go back.
Right.
Oh, sorry, folks. Coughing my head off today. So we're gonna go ahead and we're running out of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and play one more of your songs here.
Excellent.
The Power of Water.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Also inspired by my trip to Iceland, I think, water sort of making those such an interesting landscape. That's really what that came from. Ice and water.
Awesome.
That's where the idea came from.
Here we go.
water flows. The water knows. The mountains shake. The mountains break. The land is big. This land is red. I want to meet you at the edge of the world. I want to see you at the edge of the world. I want to see conditions of endless transition. I want to see you make decisions without revisions. I want to meet you at the edge of the world. I want to see you at the edge of the world. I want to see mountain walls. I want to see waterfalls. I want to meet you at the edge of the world. I want to see you at the edge of the world. I want to see conditions of endless transition. I want to see you make decisions without revisions. I want to meet you at the edge of the world. I want to see you at the edge of the world. I want to see conditions of endless transition. I want to see you make decisions without revisions. No more lies, no more cries, no more endless gray skies, no more fighting, no more sliding, no more darkness inviting. No more lies, no more cries, no more endless gray skies, no more fighting, no more sliding, no more darkness inviting. No more lies, no more cries, no more endless gray skies, no more fighting, no more sliding, no more darkness inviting. No more lies, no more cries, no more endless gray skies, no more fighting, no more sliding, no more darkness inviting. No more darkness inviting. I want to meet you at the edge of the world. I want to see you at the edge of the world.
The Power of Water by Wavewulf. Now, I like the line where, she says she wants to see waterfalls. Because when we was out in Massachusetts, Nina and I, on the way back home from that Big E, that show called the Big E,
Yeah.
it was a 17-day show. And, if you've ever been to them, everybody sets up like the vendors set up like it's a store. It's a temporary store, right? It's only there for X amount of time. It's a lot of work. You start at 7 o'clock in the morning. You don't finish until midnight every day. So
Wow.
it's a lot of, it really is hard work.
Yeah.
But on the way back from the Big E, that's when we got married at Niagara Falls.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Oh, Niagara Falls is beautiful. I love it.
It is. It is. It was the first time I've ever seen it, and I can't wait to go back.
Oh, what a place to get married, too. That's so cool.
Yeah, we got married in front of the falls under what they called, and this is goofy, but kind of cute, the wedding tree.
Oh, okay.
They had a specific tree that this chapel took you over to, and to where you can get the view of the pictures of the waterfall behind you and all that.
Awesome.
It was very nice. It was very nice. We unfortunately didn't have passports, so we couldn't go.
You were on the Canadian side, yeah?
No, we was on the U.S. side.
Okay.
When we go back, I want to go over to the Canadian side.
Yeah, the Canadians
check out
actually
the
have a better
different
view than
view.
we do. I've been on both sides. I think they have a better view.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I said when we go back, we definitely want to do that. Yeah, that's a long walk across that bridge.
Yeah.
But and I want to thank you for coming on the Daddy Mer and Nina show.
Thank
I
you
hope
so
you
much,
had
Daddy
fun.
Mer. So nice to meet you. So fun to talk to you. I really enjoyed it.
It was nice to meet you too. Keep up the good work and keep us informed, like I said. And
I will do
everybody will be. I usually upload these episodes, once a week.
Okay.
When we do the shows. So when I do, everybody will be able to hear it on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple
Perfect.
Podcast, Google Podcast, Facebook Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast. So
That's
we're
excellent.
everywhere. We're everywhere.
Perfect. Well,
Just
that's really
like you
fantastic.
are.
Thanks.
So give yourself a last plug, and we're gonna call it a day.
All right. This is Nicholas Long, Wavewulf, Wavewulf. Please check out my latest album, The North and the Sea, out on State of Bass Records. You can find me at my website, www.wavewulf.com or www.wavewulf.bandcamp.com. And it's been so nice talking to you. Thanks again for having me on.
It's been a pleasure. And next time you come on, Nina will be here.
Excellent. I can't wait to meet her too.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. And, like Bill and Ted always says, be excellent to each other.
Be excellent.